the studio, and I'll be your teacher this morning. So if you're following me, please like and maybe share this once we get finished. Because we're practicing at home today, you might want some pillows either from your bed or from your couch. You may want to have a beach towel handy for knees or wrists, and maybe a couple of thick books. So I'll give you a moment to go ahead and gather any props that you might need. If you do have blocks or blankets at home from your yoga practice, you could use those instead. Once you get everything you need, come back to your mat and in your space, and we'll all come seated on your mat. Maybe you sit high on your blanket or your beach towel, arms drifting out over your knees, shoulders gliding down away from the ears. Let your eyes close. Take a moment to notice your breathing. Just feel how you feel this morning. Notice the inhale and the exhale. All the physical sensations of breathing. The cooling sensation on your nose as you breathe in. The warmth, the relaxation as you breathe out. Don't change anything about the pace of your breath now. Just make it full body breathing. Not worrying about it being anything more yogic or deeper or longer somehow. Just being yourself as you start to come into your practice. Maybe there are additional or distractions in the room around you. That's okay, let them be there. Embrace them. And then slowly with your breathing, start to tune them out as much as possible. Bringing your awareness inward. As you bring that awareness inward, start to draw the air in through your nose and out through your nose. Perhaps taking a ujjayi breath as you press your tongue against the roof of your mouth. Feeling that little swirl in the back of the throat, that little glottis sensation on the inhale and the exhale. Relax the space between your eyebrows, your third eye. And on that next exhale, let your eyes float open. Rolling the chin down to the chest, let your hands drop to the floor on either side of your hips. Gently take your right ear over to your right shoulder and pause. Perhaps walking the left fingers out just a little bit. Or maybe even reaching the left hand out to the side to take the stretch into the shoulder. Maybe if you're feeling it this morning, you could internally rotate through that arm and take it behind your back. Letting your left finger sneak into your right hip pocket. Soften your mouth, your jaw, your tongue, your teeth. Reach that left arm out once again and add the left hand to your knee as you roll the chin down to the chest. Taking that left ear over to the left shoulder for a moment, find that pause. Maybe you walk the right fingers away just a little bit. Or maybe you float that right hand all the way out, stretching through the shoulder, the bicep, the forearm. Or if it feels like you internally rotating and taking that arm behind you, sneaking those right fingertips into your left hip pocket. Pause. Feeling that sing and the stretch in the right side of your neck. Easy on yourself today. And reaching that right arm all the way out. Exhale, bring the right hand to the knee as you roll the chin down to the chest. Stacking your head on top of your body. Inhale, send the spine nice and long for a seated cow. As you exhale, pull chin to chest and round through the spine into your cat pose. Again, inhale, take it nice and high, finding that cow. Maybe eye gaze looks slightly up. Exhale, rounding through the spine in that seated cat. One more time. Inhale, drawing it all the way up. And exhale, rounding all the way back. Inhale to come back to that neutral position, bringing the bottoms of your feet onto your mat, clasping the hamstrings and rocking yourself back. If you feel that little zipper through the low belly, starting to fire up that inner fire. Maybe reach your arms out by your sides, or maybe leave the hands on the hamstrings as we practice a modified version of your boat pose. Maybe leaning back just ever so slightly, again, not to round, but just to lift the chest and heart and bring those shoulders down away from the ears. Taking 3 more breaths away, fire up that low belly space. Perhaps you add the hands back to your hamstrings, or maybe you could control your roll all the way back as you come laying down on your mat. Walk the feet in closer to your glutes, maybe just so you could brush them with your fingers. Tuck the tailbone under and lift the hips up for hip bridge on your inhale. As you exhale, roll the hips all the way down. We'll do that again dynamically. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, rolling down. Maybe squeezing one of those small pillows between your knees if you'd like a little more support. We've got 4 more. Lifting the toes away from the floor is always an option here. Also, bending the elbows, fingers pointing up towards the ceiling is a nice option. Take these last 2 hip bridges. Dynamic up and rolling down. And on this last one, we'll stay. Tuck the tailbone rolling all the way up to hip bridge. Maybe hands reach down by your sides, maybe interlacing your fingers behind your back, walking those shoulder blades in towards one another. Opening the heart towards the ceiling or the sky if you're outside. Feel like your heels back towards your glutes, towards your hands, using your entire leg, 360 degrees around. Take 3 more Ujjayi breaths. Back of the neck nice and long. Inhaling, you're breathing in. Exhaling, you're breathing out. Release the bind, and as you inhale, roll up to tippy toes. Exhale, roll down 1 vertebra at a time. Clasp those knees in towards your chest and give a little rock from side to side. Breaking up any tension that might be in the lower back as you feed your feet into your hands for happy baby pose. If the feet and the hands don't easily come together, wrap your arms around behind your knees for that happy baby. Maybe taking that little rock from side to side. And then using your hands to help click your heels together, bring the bottoms of your feet together and let your knees hover in the air, taking a flying version of that butterfly pose. Tuck your tailbone under to draw the belly in, interlacing your fingers behind the back of your head. Press your feet together. As you exhale, curl up once, reach out for 2, and then come back and down again. Exhale, curl up, reach out, and come back and down. Option to lower those feet to the floor as we take 4 more. Again, finding what fires up your inner fire today. Press the bottoms of your feet together, lift up and reach, and come back and down. 1 more time, up, reach, back, and down. Coming up, curling chin to chest, reach your hands towards your feet and pulse it up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Return your hands behind your head and roll back. We'll do that again. Tuck the tailbone. Lower the feet if you'd like. Crunch up for 1. Reach out for your feet for 2. Come back and down. Break it into 2 parts. Crunch up. Reach for your feet. Come back and down. 4 more. Exhale. Reach. Back and down. Crunch. Reach. Back and down. Always lowering your feet if you'd like and bringing those pillows underneath the outer upper thighs if you want to. Good. Last one right here. As you curl up and crunch and reach back and down, preparing yourself for that little pulse. Curling up, reaching hands to feet and pulsing it up. 10, 9, 8, 7. Press those feet together. 4, 3, 2. You've got this. Last one. Fold those knees in together as you roll the head back onto the mat. Gently roll the ear right towards the mat and then left. Send the legs and arms up towards the ceiling. Rotate the wrists and the ankles. And leaving those arms and legs up towards the sky. Tuck the tailbone under once again. Drop your right arm over your head and your left leg in the opposite direction. Flex through the feet and reach long. Come back to the center. Switch. Left arm, right leg drops long. Pause. Low belly works in. Come back to the center. Switch. Bend through the knees and arms if you'd like as you take this long, slow movement. Taking your time, dropping left arm and right leg. And come back to the center. And switch. Come back to the center. One more time each side. And last. Coming all the way back to the center. Draw those knees in towards your chest. Start to rock yourself forward and back, catching those hamstrings until you come back into your seated position. Hands find your knees. Inhale, take the tailbone out and behind as the chest goes proud, seated cow. Exhale, tuck through the tailbone, round through the low belly. In we go into cow. Inhale, back to cow, seated. Exhale, rounding back into that cat spine. Inhale to come back into your seated position. Bring the bottoms of the feet once again to the earth. Catch your hamstrings. Lift up through that heart as you tip into that boat pose. Of course, optional, leave your feet on the floor. Squeeze that pillow between the inner thighs. Squeeze the triceps. Lift the heart nice and long. Tuck the chin slightly back and in. And we'll lower into that canoe, or it's actually a full boat pose, coming down, and then squeezing back up again. Coming down, maybe catching hamstrings to guide yourself, squeezing back up. Twice again, coming down, and squeezing back up. One more time, coming down. I'll meet you in boat pose, lifting heart high. Again, maybe hands catching the hamstrings here, squeezing the inner thighs towards one another generously. Heart lifts. 4 more breaths. In through your nose, out through your nose. Call back in that Ujjayi breathing when things start to get a little tough. We'll come down into that full boat pose or that canoe pose, and we'll hold here for 5. Optional release head and shoulders back on the mat for 4. Keep that low belly zipped up and in for 3. Point the toes, stretch them out the opposite direction. And then coming back up to that boat pose, pause. Breathing into the space for 4. Catching those hamstrings or lowering the feet if that feels like you. Taking 2 more inhales through the nose. Ears work back towards the shoulders. Exhale. Feeling the hip flexors a little here. And then crossing one ankle over the other. Rock yourself over or around to the side as you step back into plank position for the first time. Press the floor away. Lift that low belly up and in. Curl your fingers on the mat. And we'll just rock a little forward and back to prepare the wrists for our practice today. Maybe you take it around in a circle. You could always lower the knees down to the earth to take it around into a circle. Go the opposite direction. Warming up the hands and the wrists. Maybe you've been typing. Maybe you've been texting. Just getting a little warmth into those joints. pressing it back to plank pose. Lowering the knees down first if you'd like, and then walking the right elbow to the earth and the left elbow to the earth, coming to your forearm plank. Draw that low belly up and in. Utilize your thighs here. Press those thighs away from the floor. Or if you'd like it a little sweeter, lower the knees down to the mat. Push heart away from the floor. Turn that right forearm parallel to the short edge of your mat, rolling open into your side plank variation. Maybe you bring that right knee down as well. Or maybe you leave the feet stacked or staggered, or hover that left foot up in the air. As you exhale, roll that left arm down to take the place of the right arm, rolling onto the outer edge of the left foot, or lowering the knee, coming into that side plank variation on the other side. Press the left forearm down, maybe hover the right foot. Keep breathing as that right forearm comes back to the earth. Walk it back to your forearm plank. Option to interlace your fingers here if that makes you feel more powerful. Toe the toes in, coming into dolphin pose, letting head hang. Softening the knees, press back towards the thighs. And then tiptoe those feet back, coming back into that forearm plank. Working the hands out so that the arms and the hands are 1 forearm's distance apart. Option to lower knees and walk it back to tabletop. Option to press into your hands and come back to downward facing dog. I'll meet you in downward facing dog, whichever path you choose. Pedal the feet out, few deep knee bends if you. And then look forward towards your wrist, bend your knees. Take as many steps in towards your hands as feels good to you today. Inhale, find a little half lift. Exhaling back to your fold, plant your palms, step just your left foot back, leave your right foot forward. Utilize that little beach towel to lower that left knee, untuck your toes. Inhale, rising into your low lunge. Interlace your fingers on your front thigh. Press the left thigh forward as you lift up through the low belly. Option to drop the right hand to the back of the left leg as the left arm reaches up. Slowly, left hand comes back down to the inside of your right foot. Right arm reaches up. Tuck your back toes under if you'd like. Lift that back knee up as you take a twist over the right side. Lift that left thigh up. Energize it. Breathe. Exhale your right hand down to the outside of your right foot. Press the floor away and hover that right leg up to the center line. Pull that shin in. Tight, 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 tight. Slowly step it back to your plank pose. Lower your knees to the earth. Walk your elbows down to the mat, right and then left. And step it back into your forearm plank. Option to move that towel if it's in your way. Left forearm goes parallel to the short edge of your roll onto that outer left foot or drop the knee, opening into that Vashisthasana variation. Optionally bending through that right knee, stepping back into a baby wild thing shoulder stretch. Slowly coming back, maybe that right arm can take the place of the left arm. And starting to roll open to the other side, lowering that right knee if you'd like, hovering the left foot if you'd like. Maybe bending through the left knee, stepping back. Press down through the right forearm as you take that little baby wild thing. And then both forearms come back onto the earth. Take your time, walk it back. Maybe you interlace your fingers or you keep your arms out 1 forearm's distance apart. As you tippy-toe your feet into dolphin, let your head hang. Draw your low belly in, soften your knees, chest back towards your thighs. And start to tippy-toe it back, coming back into that forearm plank. We'll breathe here for 5. Make fists with your hands. Draw your elbows back towards your toes and your toes in towards your elbows for 3. Lift up through that low belly. Use those thighs. Knees down if you want a little sweeter. Now you have some options. You could lower your knees to the earth, walking back to hands and knees to down dog, or press straight there from that forearm plank. I'll leave it up to you. Looking forward towards your wrists, bend your knees, watch your towel as you walk your feet in. Inhale, take a little half lift. Exhale, coming back into your fold, step just your right foot back. Lower your right knee to your beach towel and tuck your toes. Inhale, rise with that left leg forward. Interlace your fingers on that left thigh, press it away, lift up, long stretch through that right leg. Maybe if you decide to take my funky variation, you reach back with your left hand and touch your right leg as your right arm reaches up. Soften your jaw, no need to take any tension into the neck. Keep those ears working back and press forward with your right hip. Right comes to the earth on the inside of your left foot, or bring it to that block. Left arm reaches up. Option is stay or play by lifting that back knee up. Draw this left hip back, lifting up through that right thigh. Take one more big breath. Exhale, that left hand comes back to the earth. If it's there, plant your palms, curl your fingers, and hover that left knee into the center line. Push the floor away and hug it in tight, tight, tight. When you're ready, step it back into your plank position. Rock slightly forward, lowering knees, chest, and chin. Scooping into your baby cobra pose. Release the tops of your feet to the earth and wiggle a little here. Lowering yourself all the way down, third eye comes to the mat. Tuck your toes, press back to plank position through knees or through your own power. Hug that low belly in and rock yourself forward and back for that wrist stretch. Maybe go around in a circle. Maybe knees come down at this point and you're just doing a big circle all the way around with arms and legs. And go the opposite direction. Hug that low belly up and in. And when you're ready, stop in the center and exhale your way to downward facing dog. Inhale, take your right leg more back than up. Open your right hip and lift through the knee without dumping into your left shoulder. So really stay as square as you can. Lift up through that right knee a little higher. Point the right toe. Maybe you can glance over that left shoulder under your armpit and see that cute little toe. And then looking forward towards your hands, draw that right knee up the center line. Change the angle of your shin as if you were going to come into pigeon pose. But don't settle it down yet. Just bring that right ankle behind that left wrist. Oh, work the core a little harder. Send that right leg off the left edge of your mat. Roll to the inside of your left foot as you open the left arm up into fallen triangle pose. Option to bring that right knee back down to the earth for that variation. Exhale, curl the left arm under your body. Inhale, take it all the way back up. Exhale, curl the left arm under. Inhale, take it up. One last time. Exhale, curl it under. Inhale it all the way back. The left hand down to the earth as you pull that right knee up the center line. Now shift the right knee to the outside of the right elbow. Step your right foot to the outside of your right pinky finger. Again, blanket or that towel or the pillow into place. As you lower the back knee, maybe untuck the toes. Maybe come under the elbows or your props as you come into lizard. Stacking fists, resting forehead. Or staying up. Coming to fists if wrists are feeling tired. 3 more breaths wherever you are. Inhaling, you're breathing in. Exhaling, send some of that oxygen into that left thigh. And if you've been low, slowly walking that right hand under the shoulder and the left hand under the left shoulder, tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee up. Look slightly forward, start to rock yourself a little forward and back, and step the left foot to the outside of the left pinky finger in your malasana or squat. Now as you come into this squat pose, rotate wrists, wiggle fingers, maybe stack those blocks or those books underneath your tail. Pressing the palms together at heart center, lifting the heart into the thumbs. One more nice inhale as you find your center. As you exhale, drop your hands, lift your hips, heel-toe the feet in towards one another. Inhale to take that little half lift. Exhale, plant your hands and step back to plank position. Option for that knees, chest, and chin, or rock forward, taking chaturanga. Switch to the tops of your feet. Inhaling to upward facing dog. Exhaling, I'll meet you in downward facing dog. Curling those fingers, pressing down through the inner edge of the hand. Lift that left leg more back than up. Open the left hip as you bend the knee. Kick the heel back to the opposing glute, but without dumping into the shoulder. Keep it balanced through the upper body. Maybe pointing through that left toe, lifting the knee. You may have to bend your right knee, that's fine. Keep your breath working. Look underneath that hip or over the shoulder and catch a glimpse of that left leg. As you exhale, square it back. Draw that left knee into the center line. Change the angle of your shin without touching that left foot to the earth if possible. Take that left ankle behind your right hand like you were going to come into pigeon pose. See if you can externally rotate through the big muscles of that left leg. Oh, send that left leg off the right edge of your mat. All your body weight goes into your left arm as your right arm drifts up. Option to bring that left knee down to the earth for your variation. Exhale, curl the right arm under your body. Inhale, take it all the way up. Exhale, curl it under. Inhale, take it up. One more time. Exhale, curl it under. Crunch the abdominal muscles. Inhale, take it all the way up. Watch the right hand down to the mat as you pull the left knee into the center line. Use those abdominal muscles to take that left knee to the outside of the left elbow. Woo! Step that left foot to the outside of the left pinky finger. Let's take a moment to breathe. Lower the back knee if you'd like. Untuck the toes. Blanket or props in play as you come into that lizard. Soften the space between that third eye space. Close your eyes, stack fists, rest forehead if you'd like. Stay up on your pillows or your books or your blocks. One more breath, make it the deepest. And walking left hand under left shoulder, right hand under right shoulder. Tuck your right toes under, lift that back knee up. Look forward, start to shimmy just a little bit, and step that right foot to the outside of the right pinky finger as you settle into your malasana or squat. Now here's where it's kind of fun to practice at home. So maybe make yourself a landing pad with your couch pillow. Drop your hands to the mat, look forward, looking at your landing pad, taking a crow pose. Curl those fingers on the mat, come up into your cat spine, and see if you can hold. If you already have a crow practice, maybe you tap right toes to your right wrist, left toes to your left wrist, and switch, and switch, and switch. I'll meet you back in malasana, so if you'd like to stay there, stay. And when that crow play is finished, move your props out of the way, move that landing pad, drop your hands in your head, lift your hips, heel-toe your feet into the midline. Inhale, take a little half lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step your right foot back. Step your foot back, coming into your plank. Rock slightly forward, lowering chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Use your thighs, pull that heart forward, pause. Lift the low belly. Exhale, lifting it up and back into downward facing dog. Lift that right leg up, more back than up. Bend the knee, open the hip. Look underneath that left elbow, armpit region. Maybe rock forward and start to tip into your wild thing. Maybe stay in that three-legged dog space. Or move it to your full wheel pose. And then dropping that right hand back to the earth, I'll meet you in that three-legged dog. Extending your right leg out. Look forward towards your wrist. Pull the right knee in. Change the angle of the shin like pigeon pose without setting it down. Hug that right ankle to the outside of that left wrist. You've got this. And send it over and off that left edge of your mat. Fallen triangle for one big breath. Exhale, roll that left hand back down to the earth. Pull the right knee up the center line. Change it. Right knee is to the outside of the right elbow. Look forward, maybe anchor and find a little hop with that back foot. Or maybe you're ready to step into that fire-breathing dragon. Wing those right toes out a little bit. Back knee stays up this time. Maybe elbows work to blocks or hands stay on the floor. Big open mouth exhale, let some of that fire go. Find your edge, whatever it is. And then walking that right hand under the left hand under the left shoulder. Pivot to the long edge of your mat. Inhale, take that half lift. Exhale, experiment for a moment with bending into the right knee, the left knee going from side to side. And the next time you're closer to that left leg, pivoting around towards it at the back edge of your mat. Both hands stay on the inside of your left foot. Slightly forward, start to shift and step into malasana or squat pose. You should be at what used to be the back edge of your mat. Drop that left hand to the center line. Inhale, take the right arm up to take a twist. Option to internally rotate that right arm, taking it behind your back. Left arm goes in front of your left leg to take a full bind if you'd like it. Drop that left hand to the center line, right arm twists back up. Exhale the right hand back down to the mat, left arm twists up. Maybe you internally rotate through that left arm, taking it behind your back. Maybe right arm goes in front of the right leg, taking that full bind. Breathe. Good, right hand drops to the center line, left arm lifts up. Exhale your left hand back down to the middle. Lower through the head and shoulders as you lift the hips, coming into your forward fold. Heel toe the feet in. Inhale to take your half lift. Exhale, step back into your plank position, left foot back, right foot back. Rock slightly forward, lowering chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, finding your downward facing dog. Lift that left leg more back than up. Open the hip, point the toe, balance the shoulders. Maybe rock forward and step back into wild thing, or stay in that three-legged dog. Maybe you transition the arms and come into full wheel pose. Watching that left hand back down to the earth, kick it back into three-legged dog. Straighten that left leg all the way out. Pull the left knee up the center line. Change the angle of the shin. Really bring that left ankle behind your right wrist. You've got this. Lift it up a little more and send it off the right edge of your mat, fallen triangle style. One big breath as you open up. Exhale, right hand to the earth. Scoop that left knee in. Take that left knee to the outside of the left elbow. Woo! Step that left foot to the outside of the left pinky finger. Fire breathing dragon. I know I'm breathing a little fire here. Hopefully you are too, especially if you have your mat out on your back porch. Maybe walking down to elbows. Fire through that back leg. You can always bring the knee down if that's you. Open mouth exhale. Here we go. And then walking the left hand under the left shoulder, the right hand under the right shoulder. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee up if it's down. Pivot to the long edge of your mat. Inhale, take a little half lift. Exhale, walk your hands forward, facing dog, upper body. Let your head rest. If you'd like to work to an inversion, maybe walk the hands back instead of forward, bringing the crown of your head to the floor. Press your feet apart from one another. Squeeze your elbows in, feel the length in your spine, and walk your fingers all the way forward once again. Inhale to find that half lift. Exhale, pivot around towards your right foot. You're back at what used to be the front edge of your mat as you come into that runner's lunge. Send your fingers forward, lift that left leg up for standing L shape. Now squeeze that left hip in just a little bit. Keep the block underneath your left hand or your book maybe as you reach the right arm forward, taking a high version of your sunbird. Drop that right hand back to the earth, bend the right knee a little if you need to, and walk one or both hands onto your right ankle. Look forward, zipper the low belly, and find your balance. Drop your fingers back to the mat and step your left foot beside your right foot, forward fold. Inhale, little half lift. Exhale, back to your fold. Plant your hands, walk foot tippy toe, or hop back into your plank position. Pause. Lower your knees first. Lower your right elbow. Lower your left elbow, coming into that forearm plank space. Maybe interlacing your fingers here, working the elbows in, tippy toe it in. Dolphin. Maybe lifting that left leg up in the air. Square the hip, maybe lifting it forward just a little. Take a hover with the right foot and stepping back down. And maybe lifting that right foot, take a little hover. And walking it back out into that forearm plank. We'll play again, don't worry. Palms come out to the mat or make fists. Drag those elbows back towards your toes. Drag the toes in towards your elbows. Feel that isometric contraction. Inhale and exhale for 3 and 2. Lower your knees down to the earth. Walk the elbows forward into pumping pose. Now your forehead might come to the mat or to your pillow or your towel. Or if the skin of your chest easily touches the floor, maybe your chin comes out. Slowly walk it back to your tabletop position. Take your time to get there. Inhale, flaring your tailbone back, dropping your belly down, sending your eye gaze to neutral. Exhale, tuck and roll into that cat stretch. Really hug it in tightly. Inhale to come back to that neutral position. Curl your fingers on the earth, tuck your toes under, and levitate the knees 2 inches away from the mat. Feel that little zipper through the low belly. And if you'd like to add more, bring that left knee up the center line and switch. Right knee comes up the center line and switch. Left knee up the center line and switch. Stay in that low crawling position as you take 3 more. Here's 3. Curl those fingers. Here's 2. Here's 1. Now, if you'd like, you can always look forward and start to tippy toe into your crow pose, or you can lower the knees and take another round of that cat-cow. Maybe you come to the crow pose and you find a little cat spine, and you take a couple variations here. I'll meet you back in that hovering table from wherever you've been. As you exhale, press your chest back to your thighs, lifting up and back, finding down dog in your time. Pedal your feet out, a few deep knee bends. Lift that left leg more back than up. Open the hip, lift the knee, make it a scorpion tail. Maybe centering up with that left hand, reach back with your right hand and tap the left big toe. And then bring that right hand back to the earth, scoop the left knee in. You know this, turn the angle of the shin like you're going into pigeon pose, change your mind. Shoot that left foot off the right edge of your mat, ball and triangle. Exhale, curl the right hand back down, pull that left knee in, settle it down to the earth for actual pigeon pose. Maybe you get that towel and roll it up underneath that left hip. Maybe you grab your pillow and you start to walk the elbows down. Or perhaps you're bending through that back knee, reaching your right hand back, and taking a mermaid variation. Be yourself. Take a moment Take a breath. Slowly, without mouse trapping, release that right foot back down to the earth. Curl the toes under. Move that blanket or block out from underneath the left hip. Press the floor away. Hug that left knee up the center line. Tight, tight, tight. Lift the shin. Take it to the outside of the left elbow. We're going to drop it down to the wrist and pick it back up. Drop the knee to the wrist and pick it back up. One more time. Drop the knee to the wrist. Pick it back up. Step the left foot to the outside of the left pinky finger. Lower that back. Untuck the toe. Maybe you walk that right hand to the center line, bending through that left knee, reach back with your left hand to grab the top of the foot. Maybe winging the left toes out or walking down to your right elbow or staying on that foot. Slowly bring that left hand back underneath the left shoulder. Right hand under the right shoulder. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee up. Look forward to the short edge of your mat. Start to shimmy it just a little bit. And then step the right foot in and come into Malasana or squat pose. Good. Take just a second to rotate those wrists, wiggle those fingers, give them a break, maybe interlace them, and just take them around in a circle. And go the opposite direction. Drop that right hand to the center line. Inhale to take that left arm up to a twist. We'll keep flowing, exhaling that left hand down and taking that right arm up. And dropping that right hand down and taking that left arm up. And switch. And switch. One more time, each side. And coming back to the center line, dropping your hands, dropping your head, lifting your hips, heel toe your feet into your forward fold. Now forward fold can be a little introspective, so clasp those opposite elbows overhead. Maybe check in with your practice here. Take a moment to sway. And then dropping your fingers to your shins or the floor. Inhale, zipper that low belly as you find your half lift. Exhale your palms back to the mat. Step your right foot back, step your left foot back. This will be our last vinyasa of the practice if you'd like to take it. Or head straight back into that downward facing dog. I'll leave it up to you. Curl those fingers on the mat. Lift that right leg more back than up. Open the right hip. Kick the heel back to the opposing glute. Maybe centering up just a little with that right hand if you'd like to play. Let the left fingers leave the floor and reach back for that right big toe. And then bringing that left hand back down to the earth. Scoop the right knee straight at the midline. And then turn the angle of the shin. You've got this. Hug it in tight, tight, tight. Take that right foot off the left edge of the mat. One big breath in, that fallen triangle. Exhale the left hand back down to the earth. Hug that right knee in, and we're going to settle into pigeon pose. So as you take it down, maybe you add your props. Maybe you take your forward fold. Maybe you start to fold up your left leg and reach back for it. Bringing that left hip forward, take some breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Truly, that's all the more complicated it needs to be. Maybe you work it into that mermaid variation, or be where you are today. Just the fact that you're joining me in your practice this morning on your yoga mat on a Sunday morning from your house means you've already done it. Slowly, without mouse trapping that left foot, bring it back down to the earth. Work your hands back down to the mat. Press that right knee straight up the center line. Hug it in tight, tight, tight. And then step that right foot to the outside of the right pinky finger. Whew. Lower that back knee. Walk the left hand more to the midline. And fold that back heel in, maybe reaching back for it. Wing those right toes out. Breathe. Gently release that left foot, toes tuck under, hands work back to the earth. Tuck your back toes under. If they're not already there, lift that back knee up. Pivot to the long edge of your mat. Inhale to take that little half lift flat back. Exhale back to your fold. Maybe clasping your hands behind your head. Maybe coming into a headstand or walking your hands forward to take a downward facing dog. Upper body, press your feet apart from one another. Take any variations here on the long edge of your mat that feel like you. And only when you're ready, drifting your hands back under your eye gaze, top low belly, inhale, half lift. Exhale, pivot around towards your left foot at what used to be the back edge of your mat. Coming into your runner's lunge. Send your eye gaze forward, lift your right leg up into the air. Internally rotate through that right leg. Place your right hand to the floor or to your book. Left arm reaches out, finding that high version of your sunbird. Maybe you drop your hands as you drop that right foot beside the left foot. Maybe you stay in that balancing space and you start to walk one or both hands onto that left ankle. Zipper up through your low belly. You've got this. Take rest whenever you need to. Find that balance. Find the work where it presents itself to you. Go back to the mat from your ankle. Step the right foot beside the left foot. We'll all meet there together. Inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, find that forward fold. Clasp your opposite elbow and sway. Dropping fingers to the floor or to your shins. Inhale, find a half lift. Exhale, back to your fold. Bend your knees a lot and sit back into chair pose. Breathe into this space. Pull the low ribs in. 4 more breaths. Squeeze that blocker pillow between the inner thigh to really strengthen. And if it feels like your palms together at heart center, send that prayer up. As you exhale, tip from your hip, forward fold. Inhale, little half lift. Exhale, step just your left foot back. Leave your right foot forward. Lower your left knee, untuck your toe. And as you exhale again, straighten through your right leg, hinging back. Ardha Hanumanasana. Maybe those books are on either side of your right leg. Inhale to take your heart high. Maybe rolling your mat. Exhale, find your fold, cushioning that left knee, or sliding that right foot forward, left foot back, and coming into your full split. Inhale. Exhale. You guys are hard workers. This is tough. Inhale. Maybe take a little fold here as you exhale. Walking those hands back in. Take your time. If they're on blocks, round forward just a little. Pull that front heel back in. Walk onto the toes of the back foot. Pull that back knee in. Coming back into that 90, into your Anjaneyasana, your low lunge. Interlacing your fingers on that front thigh. Press that back hip forward. If you'd like to take my funky variation, your right hand comes back to the back of your left thigh. Your left arm reaches up. Perfect. Nothing through the neck. They're so beautiful. Leave those alone. And then that left hand comes to the inside of your right foot, to your props or to your mat. Tuck the back toes under, lift that back knee up. Right arm comes all the way up. If you'd like, you can roll into the outer edge of your left foot, grab your right big toe and take it up into your Vashisthasana variation. You can leave your feet staggered or stacked, or keep your left knee down. Play for a moment, and when you're ready, lift that right foot again, step it forward, and I'll meet you in that dragon pose. Heart goes between the upper arms. Inhale. Exhale. Pivot to the long edge of your mat. My apologies for this shot. Bending into the left knee and the right knee. Pivoting around around towards your left foot. Now you're back at the front edge of your mat. Good. Lower your back knee. Of course, prop it up if you'd like a little more love. As you exhale, hinge back. Maybe you walk it forward and back a few times, or maybe you're ready to bring those books on the left leg. As you inhale, send your heart long. Squeeze your right hip in. Squeeze the left hip back. As you exhale, maybe finding your fold. Maybe you're walking your hands forward a little, utilizing your props. Maybe even taking that pillow and placing it underneath that left leg to find your full split. Inhaling and breathing in. Exhaling, you're breathing out. Getting in touch with your breath, with your body this morning. Maybe on that next exhale, you find a space to forward fold. Now, if you're pretty fully extended, be gentle with yourself as you start to walk back out. Rounding just a little bit, working that back heel in, tucking the back toes under, moving the back knee in, moving props if that applies. We're walking back up into that Anjaneyasana. Draw that low belly in as you rise. You should have a 90-90 bend in both knees. Maybe you reach back with that left hand, right arm reaches up to take my little funky reverse twist. Watch that right hand down to the inside of your left foot, tuck the back toes under, and peel it all the way open into that little twisted lunge. Maybe you start to anchor a little more and hook that big toe and extend that leg all the way up, taking that Vashisthasana variation. Working onto the bottom of your right foot as much as possible. Maybe you find a hover, maybe you stay stacked or staggered. And when it suits you, draw that left knee forward and step it back into that dragon pose. Long exhale, let it go. Look forward to the short edge of your mat. Start to shimmy a little bit. Step the right foot to the outside of the right pinky finger for squat. Take a moment to interlace your fingers and stir them around. If you're very hypermobile like I am, push the floor away, go the other direction. Shift your right hand in front, your left hand behind, easing yourself onto your mat. Close those knees in towards one another. Hook your hamstrings and lift into boat pose. Option to reach the arms out by your sides. That feels like you. Option to reach the hands straight up towards the ceiling if it doesn't cause your boat to sink. Feet could go low. Feet could stretch all the way. And then we'll lower into that canoe or that full boat, reaching out, breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, yearning back towards boat pose. Hook those big toes. If you'd like a little more, start to straighten it up towards the ceiling or the sky. Maybe you're out. Lift the heart towards the thighs. Keep those knees as bent as you need to find engagement here. Or start to wrap your hands around on your heels, lifting yourself, staying on those sits bones. Breathe. From wherever you've been, cross your left ankle over your right, coming back down to seated. Inhale, spine goes into that cow shape. Exhale, tuck and roll into that cat spine. Again, cow and cat. Your option to bring your hands forward and rock, or swing your legs around to the side as we come to tabletop. Curling those fingers on the mat. Tuck your toes, lifting your knees just a couple inches away from the floor for hovering table pose. Right knee draws up the center line if you'd like a little spicier, and then left. Or you can find your child's pose here. Just resting for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'll meet you back in tabletop position, lowering those knees to the earth. Inhaling, flaring your tailbone back, dropping the belly down, sending the eye gaze to neutral. Exhale to find that tuck and roll. Inhale to come back to that neutral position. Walking your elbows forward, coming into your puppy pose. Or you could sink again into your child's pose if that feels better. Zipper tightly through that low belly. Protect your lower back. Breathe. And slowly walking those hands back under the shoulders. Take your time. Take a big hip sway from side to side. Working out any kinks that might be there. Curl the fingers, tuck the toes, hover the knees 2 inches away from the earth. Pressing your chest back to your thighs, lifting it up and back, finding that down dog, pedal the feet, wiggle them out. If you'd like, stay in your down dog or start to drop the elbows to the earth for your dolphin pose. Bend your knees. If you'd like to take one last inversion of any kind, maybe interlacing the fingers and tiptoe forward, making yourself into that little headstand nugget. Maybe keeping your feet firmly anchored on the earth, bending your knees, coming into that half headstand. Or practice that forearm stand, that Pinchamayurasana. Wherever you are, breathe, play. Invite that playful energy into your life right now. And when you're ready, I'll meet you back in downward facing dog from wherever you've been. Look forward towards your wrists, bend your knees, walk float to the toe, or hop the feet in towards the hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale back to your fold, sitting back, chair pose, Utkatasana. If it feels like you press those palms together at heart center, or spiral the hands up, drawing those pinkies back behind you as you really wrap those biceps around the bone. Draw the low ribs in so you take that additional sway out of the lower back. As you exhale, swan dive over your legs, forward fold. Inhale, little half lift. Exhale, step just the right foot back, lead the left foot forward. Lower the back knee, untuck the toe. And as you raise the hands onto that front thigh, press the right hip forward. Definitely something to prop up that back knee if you'd like. Open the arms out, goddess or goal post. Open them past your peripheral vision. Or fold the back foot in and reach one or both hands for your right foot if you'd like to take it into that little bound space. Lift the low belly, stretch that quad. From wherever you've been, slowly meeting back in that tabletop position. Swinging that left leg around and doing a big hip sway from side to side. Gently curling your fingers on the earth, tuck your toes under, lift your knees, hovering them 2 inches away from the floor. We'll walk it back into plank pose, and then walk it in. So you're not coming all the way into down dog, you're just walking it back into plank. If you'd like, you can rest in child's pose and omit this all together. If you'd like, you can take a bakasana or crane pose with straight arms, anchoring your knees on your armpits for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'll meet you back in tabletop position. Woo! Turn that right hand so that the fingernail side of your hand is touching the earth. Close all 5 fingers in together. Inhale, flaring your tailbone back, dropping the belly down, stretching the wrist. Exhale, tuck and roll into your cat spine. Something tiny and precious is in your hand. Inhale back to that tabletop. Reach the right arm out in front and just rotate that wrist. Dropping that right hand to the earth. Left hand, fingernail side goes to the earth. Clutch something in that left hand. Inhale, flare your tailbone back. Drop your belly down, send your eye gaze to neutral. Exhale, tuck and roll through that spine. Inhale to come back into that neutral place. Reach that left hand out in front, rotate. Wiggle. And dropping that left hand to the earth, slide your palms forward 1 palm's distance. Tuck your toes, your knees, press your chest back to your thighs, finding downward facing dog. Look forward towards your wrists. Walk float to toe or hop the feet in towards the hands. Inhale to take that little half lift, flat back. Exhale, clasp that opposite elbow, get a little more introspective, or grab those big toes, yogi peace finger style, or slide your hands down your calf muscles, doing your forward fold. Fingertips work to the floor, your shins. Inhale, half lift, low belly zippers. Exhale, step just the left foot back, leave the right foot forward. Lower that back knee, roll something up to bring some power to that back thigh so that you can really shift it forward, getting off the kneecap. Interlacing the fingers on that front thigh, lift up the low belly. Maybe opening the arms out like goddess or goalpost arms, taking a little back bend here. Or if you did so on the other side, maybe again omitting any direct pressure on the kneecap or the bursa, that soft gelatinous stuff in your joint. Fold that back foot in, lean forward just a little, or one or both hands could wrap back. Press that left hip forward to stay off the knee itself. Good job, gang. From wherever you've been, release that foot. We'll meet back in tabletop. Sweeping that right leg around, take a big hip wiggle from side to side. And then shifting your right hip over to the mat, swing your legs around to the front. Scoot your hips in a little closer to your heels, grasping your hamstrings, keep your books close, and roll yourself down, 1 vertebra at a time. Walk those heels in close to your glutes, maybe just a finger's touch distance away. Bend your elbows 90 degrees, pointing your fingertips towards the ceiling. As you exhale, tuck the low belly in. And then as you inhale, lift the hips off the floor for a hip bridge. As you exhale, roll back down, 1 vertebra at a time. Palms might flatten to the earth as you inhale, lift up. Feel the work that you've done in your legs as you exhale, roll down. As you inhale, lift up. As you exhale, roll down. Tuck the tailbone, inhale, lift up. Exhale, roll down. Let's stay on the next one in that work. Maybe lifting those toes away from the earth, grounding down through the big toe ball mount, the pinky toe ball mount, and the heels lifting into that hip bridge space. Perhaps working those shoulder blades together under your body, interlacing your fingers. Keep the back of the neck nice and long as you engage the legs. Squeeze glutes, squeeze hamstrings. It should feel powerful in this space. And if you'd like a little spicier, work that left foot to the center line. Draw the right knee in and send that right leg all the way up towards the ceiling. Squeeze through that left hip, press the heel into the floor. Draw the right knee back in and step it down. Let it take the place of the left foot. Draw the left knee in over the hip and send it straight up. Point that toe. Press that right heel into the earth. Really ground. Open the collarbones. Breathe. Fold that left leg back in. Step the left foot down to the earth. Bring your palms back out if they're bound. Rise up to those tippy toes and roll down, 1 vertebra at a time. Draw the knees in towards the chest and give it a good rock from side to side. Opening the feet out and grabbing the pinky toe or big toe side of the foot, or again, if that doesn't suit you, wrapping the arms around behind the knees for happy baby pose. Maybe if that baby wants to, it can rock a little from side to side, or maybe you feel like stretching one or both legs out and open. Be playful. You're at home, you could be in your pajamas right now if you'd like. Just practicing yoga with me, inviting in all that's good this morning. I'll meet you back in that happy baby pose from wherever you've been. Now take your right thigh across your left thigh. Bend so shins are parallel to the floor. Reach your arms up so that they're like mummy arms. Now if your lower back is gapping away from the earth, exhale, draw the low belly in and really come down into that space. Good. Now take that right arm and spin it underneath your left arm for reclining eagle pose. Could you bring your legs into that same plane, maybe squeezing inner thighs, activating that inner thigh muscle. Again, really zipper low belly, and if you'd like a little more, crunch up, give it a little curl and release. Give it a little curl and release. Give it a little curl. Good. Or stay on your back. You could even bring those toes to the earth on your leg. Crunching up for 4 and 3 and 2. Last one. Nestle head and shoulders back. Spin the arms apart from one another and reach for your opposite shin for reclining Gomukhasana. Let your shoulders soften and settle. Breathing into this space. Maybe you draw the knees a little closer for a big stretch in that left hip, that right hip. Maybe you draw your feet further apart from one another, knees and ankles permitting. And then send it all up towards the ceiling. Rotate wrists, rotate ankles, and go the opposite direction. Cross that left thigh over your right thigh. And drop the shins down parallel to the floor. Try to squeeze them together just a little bit. Close them up. Reach those arms up so that they're like mummy arms. Left arm spins underneath your right arm this time for reclining eagle pose. Now, if your lower back is really gapping off the earth, press the tailbone towards the short edge of your mat, or add your blanket or your little beach towel underneath the hips for support. If you'd like, as you curl the hands together, you could exhale and crunch up and return. Exhale and crunch and return. Crunch. You can even drop that right big toe to the earth as you crunch up for 4. Or stay resting back, taking 3 and 2. And last crunch if you enjoy that. Coming back into that reclining eagle, squeeze for a moment, find your grounding, shoulders broaden, arms spin together, legs squeeze together. And then bring the arms apart from one another, reach down and grab your opposite shin. The closer you bring your thighs towards your body, the bigger stretch you'll feel. The closer you bring your feet towards your hips, the bigger stretch you'll feel. So just modify accordingly, breathing into this space. Inhaling, you're breathing in. Exhaling, you're breathing out. And slowly bringing the legs and arms back up towards center, rotate wrists. If you'd like to take an inversion here, bend your knees, place your block underneath your hips, or catch the backs of your hips and send your legs up towards the ceiling for shoulder stand. If you're in that shoulder stand space, maybe drop the right leg behind your head, flex your foot, and really work into that left leg reaching you straight up. Internally rotate through both thighs, and then take it back up, and drop that left leg behind you. Remember, you could be doing legs up the wall right now. Hopefully you're close to a wall. You can drag your mat there and do legs up the wall. Bring that left leg back up. Hug the knees in, release, move your block, move your books, and roll down through the strength in your core. Draw those knees in, open the arms out, shift the hips to the left, and take both knees over to your right side. Option to reach down with your right hand and gather that left knee in for your reclining twist. Breathe a little deeper, close your eyes. Exhale, working the knees back to the center line. Shift your hips over to the right and take the knees over to the left. Opening out. Again, use your comfort zone here. Maybe closing your eyes as you reach down with your left hand and draw the right knee in a little closer to the body. As you exhale, roll the knees back to the center line. Step the bottoms of the feet to the mat. Keep the arms open wide for a yin yoga pose called pentacle pose. Walk the feet out a good distance away. So you're almost like that drawing of Da Vinci's Man. Arms open, legs open. Relax your thighs, relax your arms, close your eyes, relax your breathing. Notice that you are almost making like a snow angel on the floor here. You're just so broad, taking up so much space, spreading yourself out, feeling all of the surfaces of your body that are in contact with the floor and the earth. Letting that feeling of the earth beneath your body ground you in this space. Gently roll your head from side to side. And let it come to rest on the most perfect spot on the back of your head. That place where you feel completely comfortable. Stay for another 5 breaths in pentacle pose. Or if there's something else you're wanting to practice, one more back bend, like full wheel, bringing the bottoms of your feet together for a reclining butterfly pose. Take the next 5 breaths to play. Whatever is in your practice that your body needs to get out this morning. If you're practicing full wheel or one more big back bender inversion, come down slowly. If you're in pentacle or reclining butterfly, use your hands to bring your knees back together, folding your knees in towards your chest, curling your head in towards the knees to make yourself into a little yoga ball. And then just gently release it back. Step the bottoms of your feet to the earth. Open the arms out. Reach the hands overhead and take your opposite elbow as you let both knees tip towards your right side. Option to take your right heel and stack it on top of your left thigh. You should feel a big stretch all the way up the outside of the left leg, the front of the left hip. Close your eyes and just frame your face with your arms. And then stepping that right foot down, wiggling the knees back to the center line. Maybe change the clasp of your hands on your opposite elbow. That left heel works up to the right thigh, perhaps. As you take your twist to the other side, notice, how's your body feeling now that you've done your practice? And slowly stepping that left foot down, wiggling the knees back to the center line. Stretch your legs and arms out, palms float out a comfortable distance away from the body. Legs stretching all the way out, or building your pillows up under your knees, finding your Shavasana. Come into that Shavasana today, allowing your eyes to close, shoulders relaxed. Ears, eyes, nose, mouth, relax. Forehead, jaw, throat, relax. Shoulders, biceps, elbows, relax. Chest, rib cage, abdominal muscles, Relax. Upper back. Relax. Hips, lower back, pelvis. Relax. Right thigh, right knee, right ankle, right foot. Relax. Left thigh, left knee, left ankle, left foot. Relax. Become aware of your physical body, all the spaces that you're touching your mat, all the spaces that you're touching the ground. Feel the blood pumping from your heart out to your fingertips. Listen to the sound of your inner self, your heartbeat, your digestion. All the circuitry within your body is healthy and firing. Even as the outside world might be a little chaotic, you go inward. Ever so slowly start to wiggle fingers and toes. Don't open your eyes just yet. Stay for a moment in that Shavasana space. Make those micro movements, letting small movements become big movements. As you stretch your arms overhead and your legs in the opposite direction, or maybe as you make yourself into that little ball. Very gently with yourself, roll to your favorite side. Lying for a moment in that modified fetal position. You're at home, so technically you could stay here as long as you'd like for the rest of the day or take a little nap. And when you're ready, press your way back up to a comfortable seated position. Your Sukhasana, sweet seat. Your half lotus or full lotus. Press your palms together at heart center, lifting your heart into your thumbs. Dipping your chin down in acknowledgement of your practice today. My name is Megan. It has been such an honor to be with you. Thank you so much for practicing with me this morning. For practicing with me whenever you find this online. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being in this space with me. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you want to make a donation, we are accepting some donations via Venmo. We're just at karma-yoga. Thank you again. I'll see you soon in this online store.